We are back at Mjbizcon, and I am excited. When I get to interview my peers, my fellow journey people, my travelers who are out there looking in the world for things, who aren't necessarily concerned about money, but are more of like have that intellectual appetite. I am very excited. So we get to chat a little bit, and this will be a very valuable podcast because you'll get a little insight into what's going on in the cannabis space at Mjbizcon with 30,000 cannabis individuals coming together. To meet you down again. I don't know if I said Mjbizcon 22, but I'm here with Rachelle, a freelance journalist. Is that how you prefer to be introduced?
It's actually Rachelle, but yes.
Rachelle, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's actually been happening all week. Like, some of these people I've known for years, and they're still calling me Rachelle. And
Well, it's
I'm
spelled
like,
wrong. Okay.
No, it's, Rachelle. It's
Rachelle.
Rachelle, yeah.
Okay.
I got to do a LinkedIn post or something about it. Like, yo, this is not my name.
Well, I'm like a phonetic speller because I'm a Mexican. So, I mean, the whole English language is really beyond me. I just spell shit like I'm a mess. Okay. So, tell us a little bit who you are and your journey through cannabis so people get a feeling for you and your level of expertise. And then we're going to talk about some of the topics that you're seeing, some of the people that you're interviewing, some of your things you find interesting, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. So I've been a cannabis journalist for about going on 7 years now.
7 years.
Yeah, I started.
I'm going to pull out a little paper. So
please, yeah, take notes.
yes, it's an ex-prosecutor habit.
I actually am not a classically trained journalist. I was actually a preschool teacher.
Nice.
Before, yeah, but then unfortunately.
Are you friends with Luna?
Luna, what up, girl?
I'll tell you. Luna.
Queen.
Luna, when you're ready, jump on. She'll jump on. Go ahead.
Yes, tap in. So, anyways, I was a preschool teacher, but then I ended up catching a case. I got busted with a bunch of cannabis. And
what year was that?
2011.
2011, busted cannabis, okay.
Yep, so quit teaching, started writing more as a side hustle, and then as the legal industry started taking waves, then I jumped on that train, and here I am today. I write for a bunch of different publications. I've done everything from High Times to Cannabis Now, MG. I work with the Beard Bros quite a bit.
I love the Beard Bros guys.
Shout out Beard Bros, we love them.
We are big fans. Well, Luna, jump in on here. Luna, put your headset on. We're having a discussion. Luna, jump in. All right.
Tap in.
I love when Luna's on the podcast. Luna, iSpire. iSpire has been kind enough to host us here at Mjbizcon. So shout out to iSpire.
Love iSpire.
And iSpire is always...
Check.
Yeah, there we go. iSpire is concerned about the education and the advancement of the cannabis industry in general.
And saving the terps.
And saving
Always.
the terps. Yes. Gotta save, okay, save the terps. So they were gracious enough to host us. So, but when Luna's on the show co-hosting, it takes it to the whole another level.
With the cannabis conscious commentary.
You hear her voice?
Love it.
Right?
Amazing.
Right? And we invented something called, we have MITA Unshackled, but working with Luna, we're going to do a MITA Shackled.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Next
The,
level.
Yes. And you got
the X-rated version.
Glasses. Okay, so back to Rachelle, because we're interviewing Rachelle
This
today.
is the one.
This is the one.
It's the one-stop shop for all things you need,
It's
really.
the Keanu Reeves of cannabis journalism. Right?
Classic.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about you and your journey, and then we'll get into the hot topics.
Please. So, yeah, I had a really great time traveling all over North America. It's been a blessing. I've been fortunate enough to meet enough amazing people. It's been a blessing. And I like to talk about all kinds of different things.
You met me now, too. There.
Hi, you're so amazing.
I mean, come on.
What a ham.
Two amazing people here.
It's like the dogs that the one sees one getting pet and the other one puts their butt right
What
there.
about me?
It's a human touch. I was like, what's going on there?
It's cannabis, dude. We're all so
yeah,
warm,
yeah,
and it makes us feel like we're here for a reason. It keeps us all in it. It's not an easy space, so community is key.
Truly.
I keep interrupting her. She was traveling north across America.
Oh, yeah.
And I've built an amazing network. I've seen a lot of things happen and a lot of things play out. And I've been fortunate enough to help write the narrative as it happens. And it's a huge blessing and an honor that I don't take lightly because there's a lot of people who are watching us. And it's really important to get the information out to the people about the industry and about this plant medicine, because unfortunately there's a lot of misinformation that's being disseminated, and we can't have that.
No, it's unethical.
Absolutely. So we have to make sure that we are representing our industry in the right way and getting the information out there to the folks who need it the most. That's what I'm about.
We're gonna focus on the stories that you are covering right now. I just thought I'd share you a little something. I just got texted an anonymous, off the record rant, but I mean it looks like a rant, but it's actually a story about some of the business practices of Curaleaf, which I'm going to post on LinkedIn. Anyways, so let's talk about you. What kind of stories? I know it's like don't talk about Curaleaf.
Well, I mean, they've been in the news since 2014 with
this is a shelf space issue.
Got it.
When brands are being fleeced for $20,000 a month for shelf space, I get a little bit annoyed because that limits the patience and the consumer.
So here's my question. We're going to be playing whack-a-mole if we just focus on brands. How do we create systems where that's not allowed? We have so many other industries that have certain gatekeeping elements.
Free market, direct to consumer. Manufacturers being allowed to sell to consumer. We have to get there.
But how do we regulate the retailer's choice of how to stock their shelves? That's the thing, is how do we create a standard so that X amount goes to equity, X amount has to be for women? It's almost like in order to be eligible for a government subsidy, you need to hit these things.
Yeah, well, that's a little tough because, I mean, you have like the Walgreens and the Walmarts and Circle K's, and you walk in Circle K and there's 10 types of sodas, and, you know, there's a lot of other people could invent and create sodas out there. But if you don't allow the inventor of the soda to go direct to the consumer, that soda will never have a chance to evolve.
Right.
Circle K is going to be able to do what Circle K wants to do because it only has a amount of shelf space, and they can be greedy, capitalist, $20,000 a month.
And the same person can buy that product on Amazon too. So the point is the store is just a novelty. The access to it is
consumer.
That's a very good point.
I'm sorry, Rachelle. Luna and I get into these things because we're both free market people. But let's talk about some of your stories and some of the things that either you want to talk about from past stories that you've done, or something maybe that's
cool that you've seen in the last 3 days? Well, here's what I'll tease out for my coverage of MJBizCon 2022.
Sneak peek.
A lot of people read an article that I wrote last year for the Beard Bros about the Cannabis Boys Club.
Yep.
And how misogyny is just running rampant within our industry.
It's been bad this time.
You know, and I understand that that can be a product of our society, but as I said earlier, we need to do better. People are watching us. Like, this is a feminine plant, and when we are disrespected as women and we are not seen, you know, that's a problem, and we cannot let that stand. This aggression will not stand, man. Oh, Kim.
Oh, I didn't want to say her name. Okay, we didn't say her last name. Do you know her?
Yes, I do.
So we had from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. this morning, we had a little coffee session, and the topic of conversation was the Cannabis Boys Club. It's like you guys have been chatting about it.
Someone was walking around yesterday, a group of guys, mocking the buy weed from women, and it said, buy weed from rich white men.
Yes, I've been seeing this
It's viral
around.
now.
So we had an hour-long conversation about the Cannabis Boys Club from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
No kidding.
That's a coincidence?
It must be.
I mean, people will come to the booth and introduce themselves to all the men on my team and completely ignore me, not realizing that I'm the only executive that's in the space.
No, but what's good is, so it suggests that there's a trend here that we need to talk about, because it's your observation, her observation.
And it needs to be men joining the conversation, because women have been talking about this since I got into the cannabis industry. We need male allies and other allies to start saying it, because it just sounds like we're complaining.
Right, and that's the thing, is like the men need to be a part of the conversation. And I mean, the article, she very well could have been talking about my article, because I'm not going to front, it went pretty viral, and people have been coming up to me all week saying, thank you for writing that, you know, it really resonated for me in, unfortunately, the worst ways, but it's true, right? And so I'm doing a follow-up this year. And
hit me up, I have some content.
Absolutely, I would love
Unfortunately.
that. I would love that. We're trying to focus on, though, and shine a light on, is who's doing it right.
Well, yep.
You know what I mean? Because
to have a model, because if you can't see it, you can't be it.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of people who are doing it right. I was at an amazing gathering last night. Flower Hire had a great party. There were a lot of women having this amazing conversations, and it was a really wonderful way to kick off the night.
And Blunt Brunch was before the event, so all the women got to connect, so that now they know each other as they walk through the show. Creates community and safety, especially in Vegas, which can be a little hairy.
Yes. Shout out to Adelia and to Parisa Rad, because the Blunt Brunch is really setting the standard.
Yes.
And really empowering women. We are all on the same team.
And women of color. They're centering women of color, which is unique. Most of these women's organizations are run by primarily white women.
Yes, exactly. And they are really inclusive, and they're shining a light on so many different types of people and allowing everyone to achieve their dreams and lift each other up. And we need more of that in this space. We need more of that.
So, it's interesting, because we were having the discussion from 7 to 8 a.m., and she was talking about what she saw at the parties the night before. The exact same observation that you saw. She was talking about this morning.
Women don't even feel safe going to some of these parties unless they have a crew of women with them because it's such a male-dominated industry, and when it gets late and there's alcohol, it gets extremely unprofessional, and people only see you for the fact that you have female body parts and not that you're an executive in the cannabis industry.
It's straight up gross. And I don't know if it is like if it's the Vegas energy or because we're in cannabis and it's more laid back, but it's almost like men feel, and not all men, but it seems like a lot of men feel like they have a license to be gross.
Entitlement is a disease.
Absolutely, 1,000%. 1,000%.
That FYI, that grossness goes away as you get older. I'm just
Hopefully.
I just finished my 40s, and I know I look like I'm 21, but I guarantee you it diminishes in
Well,
time.
there's natural testosterone and sexuality and energy, and then there's rape culture and control.
Yeah.
So that's ageless, right?
Right.
So there's like a point where you stop like chasing women just because you're interested, and then there's a moment where you actually feel like they are less and that there's something to gain, and that's timeless.
Yes.
Well, what's interesting is that, I mean, personally, I can't speak for all men and all women and all people, but it's all about merit to me. It's all about what are your skills, what are your talents. I mean, MITA, we happen to only hire women, but that's for a really interesting reason. I discovered in 2015, 14, 15, 16, especially through this industry, that most men have within them this void that can never be filled.
It's like the maternal, nourishing.
Well, but you guys have that. So they have this sense of meaninglessness. Okay, you guys can create meaning instantly. You're tied to the cycle of nature. Man wonders about what his role is and his legacy and his existence. So they constantly are trying to do things like create an identity, create a legacy, start wars, build Taj Mahals, or just be a person who's gathering as many resources as possible because that's going to somehow fill this void that they have. So I said, yeah, the level of greed within men of self-interest has no bounds. Women, equally as self-interested, but has limitations. They take what they need. Men take with no boundaries. That to me says, I want to work with women because they're just safer people. You know what I'm saying?
I love hearing you say it. I don't want to be a gender essentialist, but there's definitely themes. And in cannabis specifically, you add capitalism, which is super patriarchal, to that underlying culture, to Las Vegas, which is very, violent in a lot of ways, sexually violent. So I think it's hard to continue existing radically in this space. That's for sure. It takes a lot of energy when we should be focusing on building more business. It's actually not good for the industry. This is the other thing is people are always listing diversity, equity, and inclusion just to get women on the rolls, but having women on there actually makes your bottom line grow.
Look,
yes.
There's Kim.
What
Sadie.
Hi, ladies.
That's yes. Also very important figures in the American cannabis space. That's what I love about this booth is that people just walk by, like wave and stuff. It's so awesome.
Rachelle, what's your new Instagram? I want to shout that out because you've been shut down several times for cannabis censorship, and you've built it. And the fact that you're a journalist and a thought leader, and you've never even touched the plant or even come close to touching the plant. Me as well. I get shadow banned, and I've been deleted once, but you've been deleted like thrice. So just make sure that everyone knows where to follow you because I know we're trying to build
My guess is she's
up.
probably touched the plant a few times.
She's a non-plant touching plant toucher.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. I'm just saying.
Rachelle, the writer, Rachelle, the writer. Make sure to follow me. Yes, please. I'm on my 3rd Instagram this year. And hopefully 3rd time's the charm.
Yep, it will be.
So we have the women issue. It's an ongoing thing. We got a little bit of update. You're going to do an update about that subject matter in your upcoming articles. Watch out for that. That's going to be really good, something coming up. Anything else that crossed your mind that you saw that was like, this is hot, this is interesting, wow, kind of thing? So anything surprise you?
Nothing has surprised me too much yet. I do hear that
We have a new dab, I'll have to show you.
I heard that iSpire's working on some stuff, so I can't wait to see that and talk off the record about that, and then on the record when you guys are ready. I will say that something I'm excited to see more of in this industry, just in general, are the minor cannabinoids coming out.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about the Delta 8 and the HHC. No, I'm talking about
marijuana derived.
Yes, exactly. And I'm talking about not just the CBD, but the CBN, the CBG. Shout out to Space Gems for their CBN THC gummy. That thing is saving my life. And I want to see more products for more consumers.
THCV.
Yes, THCV. Shout out to Emerald Spirit Botanicals for their THCV strain, the Pink Boost Goddess. Amazing. We need more of that. We need more stuff for every consumer. I want to make sure that everyone in my family has a product for them if they actually need it and want it.
There's hundreds of cannabinoids. Why are we hyper-focused on 2? I don't get it.
Yeah, and the THC percentages. What about the terpenes? I want to hear more about the terpenes.
The
I want
profiles.
To see, absolutely. We need to educate the consumer. That's who I'm concerned about. I love hanging out with my fellow industry people.
But it's an echo chamber.
Exactly, exactly. And there's people who, like I said earlier, they're looking to us for information and for help, and we need to give it to them. And that's what I love about the iSpire. You know, it makes concentrate consumption so simple.
It demystifies.
Absolutely. It's approachable. Not everyone can handle a blowtorch in their face. You know, I have a burn.
Oh.
You can see the scar right here,
Yep.
right? We all let's all show our dab
Burns.
scars,
Yep.
right?
From e-nails.
Exactly. And so it's like, what can we do to make sure that people can consume safely and have what they need for them? Because honestly, like this heady boy culture, it's not for everyone, and it's okay. There's a space for that, but like there
It's
are a lot
not.
of people that we're not seeing.
Go ahead.
No, I will say though, like on the topic of women in cannabis, I never feel less seen than when I'm with a group of heady boys. I hate to see that.
What kind of boys?
Heady boys.
Heady boys. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's I think so important is something that I feel like we just always say is we need to educate the consumer. It's so soft and qualitative. And people are like, yeah, that's not really like part of my pro forma. Like, this is a transactional consumer thing. But what you just said is so important. The education is not fluff. If you don't welcome new consumers, we will not grow this industry.
Yes.
It goes back to women and people of color. You're not just doing it to have black female faces on your team. They actually improve your bottom line.
Yes.
So education, we keep talking about expanding and scaling and growing and MSOs. How are you going to get people on if not everyone wants THC, not everyone wants psychoactivity?
Absolutely.
Especially 90% of people walking into clubs are asking for things to help them sleep. And for me, THC edibles or gummies before I go to bed, they don't help me sleep. CBN, a little mix of CBG, CBD, I'm good. But I think that this literacy piece, people need to realize that they need to bake that into their pro formas because it will help them grow. It's totally different than just being like, do a good job at educating people. It's like, grow your market, homie.
Yes.
I love this. This is my favorite podcast because I'm sitting here watching. This is like art in action. Okay, so they got this covered. So I'm thinking to myself,
So go take your pee break.
I'm thinking to myself, what do I do? And then I'm thinking to myself, this reminds me of a separate Sesame Street episode where I should like start singing a song called like, one of these things is not like the other, not like the other, not like, and just disappear. And this
We're out here, day 3 of Mjbizcon.
Exit
we
stage left.
We see you. We
Yeah.
appreciate you. We love you.
Where's
I'm good. I got
Woodstock?
your back.
Where's
I got-
Woodstock?
I got your back. I love you guys.
Where's
you
our
got
boy?
the best shoes. And you, my friend, one thing that surprised me the most and one takeaway from Mjbizcon is that her and I have to hang out together and interview more people because it's
I'm here
so
for
much fun.
I'm here for that.
I love your legal mind. I love your legal notepads.
I take notes.
You're so goofy and sweet, and everyone loves you.
I got
This
a little
is such an
thing.
important thing for a trade organization, which is usually very sterile and cold and formatted, and you guys bring such a warmth. I really appreciate that your team is mostly women. All of you guys are folks of color too. A lot of these trade organizations really feel like they look like and represent people who already have institutional privilege, and I think that you guys make it very accessible, especially in Arizona, where it's mainly brown folks. I think that that's a radical act, is to be really welcoming and warm and build the culture into something that's traditionally pretty corporate as far as trade organization cultures go.
Yeah, we were noticing the other day, Huerta, Munoz, Valenzuela, Blanco. I'm like, wait, we are like Hispanic trade. I mean, like everybody's like got the last names.
Well, you're representing your region. Isn't that how it's supposed to be?
Yeah. I'm
I mean, the majority of this country and the majority of California are brown, so we need to have that representation. Same thing with females. We're more than half of the population. Why are we 10% of CEOs?
That always really confused me, why things aren't 50-50.
Right?
That's like, it just seems like logical. That's
We're getting there. I think patriarchy is dying. I think that we're shifting into a new world, especially with cannabis. We're going to get there.
I hope so.
Our producer is signaling that we got to round up. So how do people find you, and how do they keep track of your thought process and what you're writing about? Best ways.
Definitely the Instagram, which I shouted out earlier, but Rachelle the writer, and then also LinkedIn. You can certainly find me on LinkedIn, just Rachelle Gordon, and then see me at the shows. I'm on the circuit, so come up and say hi, and we'll go outside and have a little session. It'll be beautiful.
She's a very mellow energy at shows. She's a very grounding perspective, so I highly recommend. It's like a little self-care spa time when you're with Rachelle. She's got an energetic mellowness that's really infectious. So thank you for doing that work here with all the chaos. It means a lot to me to have people that are holding it down and have a really good vibration.
Thank you. I appreciate that. They do call me the Good Vibes Fairy, and so I would hope to sprinkle that magic throughout.
Sprinkle me.
And I appreciate your energy as well. You're always such a light, Luna. And your energy as well, even though
Thank
it's
you.
new to me.
No,
but
no,
it's-
one
it,
of these
fe-
Yeah,
it feels
to meet you.
beautiful.
I'm going to exit stage left now. And
One of these things.
Rachelle will be back at Mjbizcon 2023 to give us our updates and stuff. We're trying to kind of set this up for next year as well.
I'll be
So
here.
definitely check in with us and and you're a Friday person for Mjbizcon 2023.
I'm here.
You're gonna get We're trying to do a whole game day type of thing. We'll see what happens.
It's tough. It's a marathon, not a sprint, everyone. But I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.
Thank you all
Yeah.
so much. Luna Sauer signing out for iSpire.